Kumade Uke, Kumade Uke, Kumade Uke. Kuma means bear and te means hand. So kumade, this looks like a bare hand. So this block is called Kumade Uke, which you see in Jion and Jite. 2 points here. Number one, make sure you are moving to the side and not like this, okay? This is a sideways block and not a push. So make sure when you do Jion, don't do this like this. Use this last hip to rotate your hips. Point two, make sure you're using this part to block and not here. So practice this movement and make the snap like this, just bending your wrist. Manji Uke, Manji Uke, Manji Uke. This is a Japanese letter of manji, and the shape looks like this, right? So that's why we call this block Manji Uke. You see this in Jion, Kanku Dai, Gankaku. I think you see it in a lot of the katas. Heian Godan too. So points here. Number one, fling both fists to the opposite direction, meaning set your arm here and this arm goes down this way. This top arm goes up this way. So when you set your hand, this becomes the guideline, this line, to the goal of your fist. So make sure both of them flings up, first point. Second point is make sure you stop. Some people cannot stop and go like this. Make sure you stop here. Like this, okay? One line. Kado Uke, Kado Uke, Kado Uke. Kado means a corner in Japanese. So this block is Kado Uke. You see this in Heian Nidan. Points here. Number one, make sure your elbows are bent at 90 degrees, okay? This is no good. So imagine you're making a rectangle here. Point two is you use the hip rotation with this wrist rotation. In Heian Nidan, I'm going to be talking about it, especially. Here, you first turn your hip this way, and then you snap. 1, 2. Smoothly, 1, 2. So make sure you match the hip rotation with this block. Otoshi Uke, Otoshi Uke, Otoshi Uke. Otoshi means to drop something. So this block you do in Jion is Otoshi Uke. You're blocking someone punching here with this part down like this. 2 points here again. Number one is make sure you use the hip rotation at the end. From here, don't open up your body immediately. Keep your body facing forward, and at the end, turn. So the timing is very important here. Number two, make sure your fist doesn't go past the body too much. Like I said, you're blocking with your wrist. So if your wrist is here, there's nothing to block. Your wrist must be here for it to block an attack coming here. So not here, here. Not here, here. If you gain new knowledge up to this point, then please consider subscribing to my channel for more upcoming videos. Morote Uke, Morote Uke, Morote Uke. Morote means both hands. So this block you see is Morote Uke. 1 point here, make sure you attach your arm right before the kime. Meaning, from here, I'll do it this way. Let's say I'm doing a Morote Uke this way. You attach here and move it together. If you move your arm separately like this, in the same direction, I think it's hard to keep balance. However, once you connect this, it's easy and lighter to move, right? Use this principle, attach here and block together. Don't do this. Don't match at the end. Rather, contact and then push. Hiji Barai, Hiji Barai, Hiji Barai. Hiji means elbow and Barai, just like Gedan Barai, means to sweep away. And the block you see, this is in the kata of Gankaku. Point here, imagine smacking the back hip to the front hip like this. And make a line right here. If you focus on the upper body and turn, it's going to be very hard. Start your spin from the lower body. and allow your legs and your arm to work together. Gedan Barai, Gedan Barai, Gedan Barai. Gedan means to the lower part, and Barai means to sweep. So this is not a flick kind of block, this is a sweeping block. 2 points here. Number one, make sure you cross your elbow, meaning when you set your arm like this, make sure your elbows touch each other and you block. Commonly, people do this. But if you do this, your left shoulder blade is not going to be shifted out completely. If you want both of your shoulder blades to be shifted out, cross your elbow. I think that makes it easier. Second point is to not forget about becoming Hanmi, meaning facing sideways. Other blocks like this block and this block, I think it's easy to remind yourself to face sideways. But as for the Gedan Barai, for some reason, people face the front. So make sure, cross your elbow and snap your body in Hanmi, like this. Kage Uke, Kage Uke, Kage Uke. Age means to go up. So this is Kage Uke. 2 points here again. Number one, make sure you're blocking with your wrist and that your wrist comes to the center line. Some people do this, the wrist is here, or they do this. Make sure your wrist comes here. The reason is they're going to punch here, so you want to block with the wrist. Point number two, make sure you stay relaxed and open your armpit like this. Some people have such a tense power that they do this. But relax, make sure you relax. Just like you raise your hand in class like this. Keep your hand relaxed. Just raise it up high and add a kime at the end. See how this is open? That's the second point. Soto Uke, Soto Uke, Uchi Uke, Uchi Uke. Soto Uke and Uchi Uke. Soto means outside and Uchi means inside. This concept or this word is very controversial because some people say this is Soto Uke and this is also Soto Uke. They're saying that since the arm is coming from the outside, it's Soto Uke. Or some people say since the arm is going to the outside, that's Soto Uke. But it doesn't really matter which one it is. Just remember that there are this block and this block to the side. 2 points here for both of them. Number one is make sure you block past the center line. Meaning, let's say I'm standing like this. My center line is here, right? If you're doing a block from the outside, make sure your wrist passes this center line. So not here, okay? If you're blocking from the inside, make sure your wrist doesn't stop here. It goes all the way here, past the center line. Point number two, pay attention to this wrist rotation. Without this, you're not going to have a strong block. For example, when you do this, open up and rotate. This gives the snap. If you're doing it from the inside, this rotation. Make sure you match this with the hips. Shuto Uke, Shuto Uke, Shuto Uke. Shoot means hand and to means knife. So this is a knife hand block like this. 2 points again. Number one, make sure you pull back. In Shuto Uke, I see some people doing this, very small, but open up. Open. And that also is related to your pullback. Just like hikite, pull back all the way here. Second point, make sure you cross your elbow and use this as a guideline. Like this. Kake Uke, Kake Uke. Last one is Kake Uke. Kakeru means to hook something, so this is a hook block. In a kata of jitte, when we go from here to here, this is a flick hook block. First point, you want to hook like this. So make sure you practice this movement like this. Snap, snap. Just like Kumade Uke. Snap. Second point is you want to block here and not so far up. The height of your shoulder is fine. Thank you for watching this long video. I think that was almost all the blocks that you see in Shotokan katas. If I'm missing something, then please comment down below. And if there's another block from other karate styles, then please share that in the comment section below too. Also, please use this, movie as a dictionary for all the blocks that you use in karate. And I guess you can check out these videos. And see you guys next week. Also, join me in my group lesson.